Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the Venlauci podcast, and here is another episode for you. Are you trying to become your higher self or a high-end woman? Here's how. Well, I'm actually not an expert because I'm still learning myself, but basically it is choosing the amount of information you give to the other world. A high-end woman has an alter ego, has privacy as a looks, has her privacy as something luxurious. She is kinda in her villain era, which doesn't mean being mean or being hard or all this kind of stuff, but like the villain era in its not being afraid and standing up for herself and do the things she wants to do, and not letting anyone being boss over her. You know, she's her own boss. She's also like in her dark feminine. She is in her power. She is mysterious and magnetic. And she did a lot of shadow work as well. There is a lot of work to do here, girl. A lot of work. So it's actually your better self, your higher self, right? But high-end woman also is specific in the choices she make in her life. The things she do, the way she dresses, the way she would like to be seen, and how she introduces herself to others. It doesn't mean that you need to be like exclusive or that you need to be private in the sense that your social media needs to be clean and no photos of you nowhere, that you need to hide things from people. And it doesn't also mean that you need to hide yourself and that people cannot see you. It's not like that kind of mysterious, but it's a deeper kind of mysterious. Also, a high-end woman is also like in her light feminine energy and also in her dark feminine energy, and her intuitive is very high. So her intuition is very high. She is very intuitive and she feels things very strongly, which us women have naturally as well already. A high-end woman transfers to other people like a profound sense of purpose and satisfaction. She's kind of like a leader as well. She can bring some positive change in others' lives. She's a positive energy, a positive influence as well. Appearance does not define being a high-end woman or being a dark feminine or like light feminine. Doesn't define at all. Like appearance doesn't define anything. It's all in the inside. It's all the work you put in yourself and the work and the energy you would like to transfer to others. It's all in the character, in the behavior, and in the way of how you can do things for others and what you can mean to others. So I summed up some points that makes a high-end woman. And let's start with the alter ego. I really love the alter ego. I didn't know that I actually created alter ego for myself until I learned about the alter ego and learned that it has a name, aka alter ego. I've always been a little bit in my little world, in my bubble, and looking for myself, like looking for the style, how I would like to be presented to the world, how I would like the world to see me, how I would like to behave and act and all this kind of stuff, and how my higher self would be. So I've been like projecting a certain image of myself as my higher self and what she would be wearing, how she would behave, how she would act in certain situations, what she's doing, what's her career, is she a career person or not, like all this kind of stuff, and like all the little details that does matter and that makes my higher self, you know. And a lot of celebrities has an alter ego, like for example Lady Gaga, Marilyn Monroe, actually named Norma G, who else, Beyonce. A lot of celebrities has an alter ego because they become the character they would like to be, and it's like a certain image or personality that has been created to be referred to, okay? And an alter ego can be very helpful in personal development and to test things out, experiment in life and experiment with different kind of things, and so you can get to know yourself better and grow into the person you would like to become. So an alter ego is also helpful for people like me that are introverted. Also, I am extroverted, don't get me wrong, but I can be very introverted, and sometimes it's hard for me to do certain things when I feel introverted, when I feel anxious, when I have my social anxiety, which is still a part of my life. It is getting better, but it's still a part of my life, and it can be so frustrating because it really is a stop in a lot of things that I would like to do. And I created my alter ego that can help me in these kind of situations. I can it's like a scream for help from my other personality and be like, hey, can you manage this? Can you take this over for me, please? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but the fact that I can that this symbolic me, that I can rely on it, it's like a certain belief that I created in my mind. It really is super helpful, and it really is very inspiring. It's very motivating, and it's actually very supportive as well. And really, behind the camera, for example, when I am doing my modeling work, I change into my alter ego. It has always been like that for me. As soon as I get behind the camera, I have my makeup on, and that the stylist did her job, and that I have a very beautiful look on me, I change. My whole personality changes. I'm not that shy girl anymore that wants to sit in a corner and wants to be let alone and not talk and is too afraid to have, communication with someone or to even ask something to someone. But into that confident, powerful, look at me vibe, like that higher self, nicely developed personality, and a lot of people notices it as well. Wow, okay, when I first saw you, I didn't know you were capable of doing all this kind of poses and all this kind of stuff. You're a different kind of person. You shifted completely. And I actually, to be funny but also not to be funny, I named her. I gave her a name, my alter ego. And my alter ego is called Taylor, because at that moment I feel like a tailor. I don't know why. When I was 15 years old, I look at me in the mirror and I had this full black makeup on me. And I had something like a leather jacket on me as well. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, this is not a Lauren. This is not a Lauren. This is a Taylor. This is a Taylor. I feel I don't know how I need to explain this, but the name popped up when I looked at me, and I really felt like it fitted the way I looked at that moment and the way I felt at that moment. It's a strong name, and I don't know, sometimes till today, when I feel at my best, when I feel powerful and I love it, I love when Taylor comes by, then I'd be like, oh my God, Taylor, welcome back. Welcome back. And so, yeah, this is actually how I got my alter ego and developed it by the years, and actually realized that I created an alter ego without even knowing it. I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know that it was something you could do on purpose, and that a lot of people do to get their goals, to their higher self, to become a better person, to get their dream job, all this kind of stuff. I didn't know. I didn't really know. So this is actually an alter ego. It's really helpful. You can check it out on Google or on other platforms to get to know about it better. And Pinterest can be something very helpful. That's another tip for you. So you actually are going to shape yourself and have that ideal vision about yourself as well. It's very motivating when it's healthy, of course. It's like a source of motivation, a source of goal setting, inspiration. I don't know. It's actually reinventing yourself, and you can reinvent yourself as many as time as you would like to, because of course you don't stay the same person your whole entire life, because you are getting experience, your life experience, and you're learning and you're doing and you're experiencing, So that's that. And let's talk now about the dark feminine and the light feminine. So it's something new for me. And I learned about the dark and light feminine a few days ago. But I actually already had my own idea about it. I just didn't had the right names to these kind of energies. But basically, dark feminine doesn't really mean that you need to be covered up with black clothing and chains and a huge cleavage, or how you see these pictures on Pinterest or on Instagram of these dark feminine girls. Because most of the time there are pictures with like a Tesla or a Porsche or like a Ferrari or whatever, like these very luxurious cars, and they have high heels on, and they're very powerful, that kind of stuff, and they're like kind of mean and a little bitchy, if I can say it like that, and kind of feeling better than anyone. That's really not what real dark feminine is. Dark feminine is actually just your powerful self, your darker self, but more in the sense of deepness, in the sense of a heavy energy that's actually positive if it's in good balance. So if your dark energy is out of balance, you get this villain, nasty personality, because it's just out of balance. It's just too much. It's extreme, which is with everything like that. But basically a healthy dark feminine is like this heavy but good, powerful energy, inspiring energy. She knows where she stands. She puts her boundaries and isn't afraid to speak up, isn't afraid to, tell the other person that its behavior is wrong. She isn't afraid to put people at its place when it behaves unwell towards themselves, towards them, She isn't afraid to end things and, for example, to quit an unhealthy relationship. She steps away, she walks away as soon as possible. She is not going to waste her time. She is just way too busy, and she knows way too well her standards, and she has a lot of self-love, okay? She has a lot of self-love. She knows who she is. She knows what she wants, what she doesn't want, and she just goes for it, but doesn't waste too much time when things get wrong or things get unhealthy, and she just leaves. She leaves. She makes sure she gets out of the negative headspace and the negative environments. She steps back, she isn't afraid to take steps back and to actually take care of herself. That's actually the power of dark feminine energy. Then we have the light energy. The light energy is more like the the mothered energy. It's like the mother inside of us. It's like the caring, like the light feminine energy wants to take care of people and does anything to make others feel good and nurturing and all this kind of stuff. The only problem again is when the light feminine is out of balance, she attempts to forget herself. The light feminine that is out of balance will have a hard moment saying no to things that she doesn't really want, but not to hurt another person. Even if that person hurts her, she will still have a hard time stepping up for herself, because she doesn't want to hurt that other person. She doesn't want to create uncomfortable energy, you know? And I've been there. I am still a huge people pleaser. And I learned it in a hard way. And I'm working on that. And I think I came from far, but I really forgot myself, and I've put myself in situations that really could have been avoided, and could have avoided a lot of pain and heartbreaks and depression and all this kind of stuff. But you know, I always try to make others come first, and I wanted to make sure that that other person felt safe and good and yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but it was a very weird feeling, and I just couldn't stand up for myself, and because I just didn't want to make the situation even more awkward. And even if that other person really, really hurt me physically or mentally, I still made sure that that person was doing okay, feeling okay, and all this kind of stuff. That's not okay at all. But the healthy light feminine knows when to stop, knows that she also needs to take care of herself. And it's actually a healthy mix of the dark feminine and the light feminine. It's like, honestly, these two together in a right balance is something very beautiful, very powerful, and makes also a woman a high-end woman, because she is in balance of these two energies. She's very kind, she's very generous, she has a lot of respect for herself and others. She will always make sure she can help and will try to help other people. But she's also a source of inspirations for others. She knows where she stands, she has her boundaries set up, she walks away when needed. She's very strong, she is confident but mysterious. You know, she gives a little bit away, but not everything, just enough to make people curious about her and to create that interest. And she just knows how to handle situations, and she knows how to communicate, and she is very fulfilled. She's very she has an intelligence. She created that intelligence, and she is emotionally stable. She is also certainly not afraid to be vulnerable when needed. She will speak when needed. She will show emotions, and she's very emotional. She's using her intuitions, intense but in a good way. But despite that she is not afraid to be vulnerable, she's also very detached of life, detached of the material, detached of her emotions, detached of relationships. She's very detached. And when you get to that level of being detached of anything, you will live a more relaxed life and a more deep, meaningful life, because you will be not afraid anymore to live your life to the fullest, to the deepest, and experience it all. You will be trying new things. You won't be afraid to leave other things behind. When you're bored of a career, you won't be afraid to start all over again. You are free. You are a free spirit. You're a free mind. Your body is free. It's disconnected of everything. You're just here. You're on earth, and you're just like the wind going from place to place, and experience it all with all emotions, but detached. It is something very double and very deep, but when you understand what it means, what it truly means, you are already a huge step ahead of becoming a high-end woman or just a high-end person. Another point that I mentioned earlier was privacy is luxurious. It's secretive. It's mysterious. Again, it's not the fact that you need to disappear from social media. It's the fact that you know what to say to people and what not to say, what to keep and what you can share. It's something that I'm still learning. I am an open book. I am impulsive, and I overshare a lot. Like, I overshare a lot because I just let my thoughts come up and let it all out. And that's not really the way to go. It's actually not really healthy, because not everyone has good intentions. Not everyone has love for you and has the good for you, okay? The fact that privacy is luxurious is a way of protecting, is a way of protecting yourself. Hold on. This is too much. It's also keeping things a secret until you get it done and until you decide it's a good moment to share it. Don't share things that didn't happen yet. And again, I learned it the hard way as well. I overshared, and if I have a good idea, or if I learned something new or discovered something, I feel like a huge need to share it right away. But I give away things that are precious, or things that others will maybe take away from me, depending on what it is, of course. But yeah, so that's why privacy and mysteriousness is actually a lux. And knowing how to use it is very precious. You become very magnetic. And I know I said that being a dark feminine, light feminine, or, your higher self, being a high value woman, has nothing to do with the outer, has nothing to do with looks. But there is something important here, and is that we all know that the way of we look and present ourselves to the outside is very important, because it is actually our ID. It's our first impression. And so, yes, I do also say that it is important the way you look and the way you would like to present yourself to the outside, and not just in your behavior. But in the more general way, no, high value woman doesn't define your looks, like how you look. But the way you choose is to dress yourself up when you wake up and when you go through your day is important. And also just having or finding your own style makes you very creates that unique look. Well, everyone is unique, but like a look that can inspire others and will make you you and will make you different from the rest. So it is always a bonus to find your own style, find your own way of dealing with things, and maybe you can help someone, maybe you can inspire someone, and we can all grow together. The feeling I get when I talk about a high-end woman is just precious. It's something very calming. I feel calm, I feel confident, I feel clean, I feel in my feminine energy, and I really love that. It's something I miss in a lot of times, and I cherish it a lot, and I'm definitely continuing my path towards my higher self and become a high-end woman. Thank you so much for watching, and we see each other in the next episode.